Well, today was Wednesday, the 29th of November, 2017, and we're 7 days out from the date I've been talking about, which is Wednesday, 6th of December 2017. And something happened to me on this day back in 1989, which my mind blocked out, so I don't actually know what happened. So it creates a mystery and a shadow. A mystery. Mysteries are okay. Black is like a hole, something you don't remember. Black space is black except for the stars, the suns that shine in between the black. Bad. Most people think of black as bad. Darkness, bad. Death is often associated with darkness. It's just, people assume when you're dead, you're just in the dark. Everything's black, like when you close your eyes. Yet when you're asleep, often you're dreaming, and things are not so dark. So maybe death is not as difficult as life. Perhaps in death you find peace. Maybe that's actually true. Depends on your circumstances in this world as to whether you think life's good or bad, really. Nathan Breeze was a boy who died in the Black Saturday bushfires on 7th of February in 2009. And like I just said, the word black has a value of 29. Today is the 29th. It's the 29th of November, Wednesday. It's currently 9:59 p.m. So, we're 7 days away from the date that I've been talking about. The Devil's number 6 on Wednesday. Black, 2009, Black Saturday. That really was a black day. It would have turned black as midnight in Kinglake before that fire hit. 2 times 9 is 18. And the word mad equals 18. And it is mad that things like that happen, and that people say that, it's mad that a 13-year-old boy can die in that kind of way, and there's so much bad stuff that happens to people in this world. It's unsettling. Mad, 18. Me is 18. Lee is 18. And it's just adding up the letters according to their place in the alphabet. 13 plus 5 is 18. Simple. Lee is the adoptive mother of the 12-year-old brothers Daniel and Samuel, who, as it turns out, have been resurrected from the dead. But the identical twins have come back from hell. And these guys are actually characters in a story by R.L. Stine, who is famous for writing the Goosebumps books. Books that have entertained millions of kids around the world. He wrote a novel called Red Rain, and it's actually intended for an adult audience. But the protagonists are 12-year-old twins. And Samuel has a gift. A gift that you would describe as a psychic gift, perhaps, or a gift from hell. I don't know. But it involves his eyes, it involves fire, it involves heat, and it involves the ability to hypnotize people. And Samuel's not actually an unlikable boy. Yet, of the two boys in that story, Samuel is the killer. But he's not the evil twin. It's strange. They've come from hell. They've been to hell. They've come back. They're resurrected. They're brought back to life. And so I've talked about the word hell and the word mad. Lee, the new mum of Daniel and Samuel in that story. The characters are not that deep in that story. I find that when characters are not that deep and they're kind of simple, you can kind of fill in the details yourself with your own mind, and that in a way can be kind of interesting. Superficial characters in a way. Actually, they're more like sketched. They're just not detailed. Hell, I wouldn't say they're shallow. Just sketched characters. Hell is 37 and Mad, or Lee, is 18. Or me is 18. 3 6s are 18. And 37 times 18 is 666. "13-year-old Nathan Breeze was one of 9 people who perished at 9 Pine Ridge Road in Kinglake West." And this was Nathan. Nathan Breeze, the boy I've connected to Jacob Wetterling, who was a murder victim from Minnesota in the USA. Nathan, a bushfire victim. Boy who died in Australia's worst natural disaster. I think it's safe to say. How are they connected? Nathan's surname, Breeze, it's a weather-related name, and Jacob Wetterling. Wetterling is a German surname. Jake's heritage is German on his father's side, and it actually translates as weather child. Nathan was from Kinglake West. Kinglake bad boy equals 119. Nathan Breeze, 119. The bad boy aged 13 equals 99. Like I was just saying, Nathan was one of 9 people who died at 9 Pine Ridge Road, and some people think, oh, this is creepy, dude. How do you find out this stuff? How do you notice these coincidences? And dude, this is creepy. It's like, no, it's not. The fact that this kid died in a bushfire, age 13, is horrifying and creepy in and of itself. Coincidences are meaningless compared to that. It happened. It's a fact. Whether you explain it through science or through fate or destiny or bad luck or a curse or whatever you want to put it down to, it's horrifying. And coincidences are nothing compared to what happened to that boy. And it's not just Nathan. Horrifying things have happened to so many people. In fact, most people. The shadow. The black shadow. The darkness. Ralph Morris from Junee, a boy from the central New South Wales town of Junee, was born on Saturday, the 18th of May, 1889, and he died on Wednesday, 8th of February, 1899, which was about 10 weeks after he was burnt in a deliberately lit fire. And the fire that Ralph was burned in was around this time. It was around the end of November, 1898. It could have even been on this date. Could have been tomorrow, could have been the 1st. It was around here, because it was 10 weeks. And he died, well, he died on Wednesday the 8th of February, 1899, which was about 10 weeks after he was burned in a deliberately lit fire. Lit by his boss, actually. Ralph was aged 9 years and getting towards 9 months. He died aged exactly 99 days before his 10th birthday. And he was buried on Thursday, the 9th of February, 1899. 10 weeks. Surviving 10 weeks after being burned in a fire in a stable that was your bedroom, basically. Torture equals 117. Evil red rain, 117. Blood red rain, 117. Angel emerging. Jacob Wetling from Minnesota was 11. He was 11 years and 8 months old when he died, and he was born on Friday the 17th of February, 1978. So he's 11 years old. His age is reflected along with his birthday. Bad prophetic, light breeze. Wet boy Jake. Flash floods, Jacob's water. Jacob's paddling. Gwillem. Sneaky boy, nice fantasy, is what I need. Boys swam, prophets. 1 + 1 + 7 is 9. The year 2016 is 666 × 3 + 6 × 3. And the digits 2016 add up to 9. And if you take the 117th anniversary of Ralph's burial, Ralph's the boy that was buried, despite being a Catholic boy, he was buried without a proper funeral, with hardly anyone present, no priest even, simply because the man who murdered him, Christopher William Crawley, was a powerful, highly respected man who basically is credited with having founded the township of Junee in New South Wales. And so Ralph, his suffering was unacknowledged by anyone, pretty much, apart from his parents, Rose and William. And it is, if you take the 117th anniversary of that burial in the Junee Cemetery and add 666 days, you land on Wednesday, December 6, 2017. And like I said at the start of this video, that's the date I lost some memory. Had something happen involving a predator at Western Park in Canberra, and just a black shadow. Nothing, no memory at all. A gap. So, a mystery. Mysteries aren't that bad. Mysteries are better than pain. Mystery, life's full of mysteries. Life's also full of pain. Some pain, mild pain, can be fine. You can handle it. But extreme pain, nobody wants to experience extreme pain. And that, I don't just mean physical pain. I'm talking about pain in all its forms. So it's 11 past 10 now. Wednesday the 29th. So we're 1 week away from the date I've been talking about. So I might just have a look at what's happening with the weather at this time. And I've got the Sky News Weather channel on, so this is a good place to see what's happening with the weather.
all these rain showers and storms are preceding what looks to be a major rainfall event for the southeast. Now, there is already a severe weather warning for heavy rainfall leading to flash flooding across all of Victoria. And this is really for Friday, so we have well over 24 hours notice for this severe weather warning. It's highly unusual to get that much notice, but it's because we are expecting potentially record-breaking rain for some areas. In fact, you can see the monthly totals. If we just compare them to monthly averages, this is just over 4 days. This red shading indicating rainfall totals over 150 millimeters. The darker shading there over 100 millimeters of rainfall. And this region of northeast Victoria, the December average is between 40 to 50 millimeters. That applies to places like Shepparton, Albury, Wodonga region, Wangaratta area. You only expect 40 to 50 millimeters in the entire month of December. You're getting 2 to 3 times that in about 48 hours. And coupled with that, we're going to get showers and storms extending across a large area. Now, because of this, flash flooding is absolutely a risk across all of Victoria, but also New South Wales and parts of South Australia and Tasmania. But the severe weather warning out now just for all of Victoria. But also with flash flooding, we're going to expect river flooding. And there are a lot of rivers included in a flood watch that's been issued for Victoria. Flood watch is a heads up. It's based on the forecast precipitation for the state, and then what happens is we think about what catchments will be worst affected and what rivers will be affected in general. So basically, nearly every single river catchment in Victoria has a flood watch except for 3. One of them is the Glenelg catchment, the other one is a Howell catchment, that includes Geelong, and the other one's in the East Gippsland. Otherwise, we have flood watches out for all of Victoria throughout really what's going to be happening on Friday and into Saturday as it ramps up. But it's not just Victoria, of course, it's New South Wales. On screen we have the flood watches for New South Wales, the Snowy River, the Thompson River, Mid and Midda rivers. That's down to the border of Victoria, but also central parts in the Riverina region, central Murrumbidgee catchment region, and the Belubula River. Again, this is due to that total forecast rainfall developing on Friday and into Saturday, which of course we will be covering flood watches. Just a heads up, the potential for flooding, potentially moderate, and I wouldn't rule out major flooding as well. Now let's talk about temperatures. It was a hot day across the southeast. In fact, it was the hottest day since last summer for Adelaide and Melbourne, both respectively reaching 36 degrees and 39 degrees. And take a look at this, it was hotter in Hobart than it was in Perth. And Canberra was hotter than Sydney. She's a little bit weird there, but it's because of those onshore winds, so it kept those temperatures down on the coast, but it was fairly hot inland. In Hobart, you clocked up a sea breeze fairly early. But not just those daytime temperatures, but overnight, Wednesday, and into Thursday morning, a very, very humid one. You can see the temperature forecast for 5 a.m. on Thursday. Now, that pale pink shading indicates temperatures over 20 degrees, and that darker shading, 25 degrees. Ergo, it's going to be over 25 degrees by sunrise for large parts of the southeast of South Australia, Victoria, as well as parts of New South Wales. So a very muggy and humid night ahead. Denpasar International Airport has confirmed is being reopened. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean your flight is back on, because some airlines such as Jetstar and Virgin have extended cancellations already into Thursday. It's best to get in touch with your local airline provider. However, the ash cloud is now away from Denpasar, and it is beginning to drift in an eastwards direction towards Lombok. Now, that means that potentially Lombok Airport's going to be closed as well. But thankfully, that international airport, Denpasar International Airport, is now operational yet again, and there's probably going to be a significant backlog of flights. So why did this happen? This ash is a big threat to planes. The ash can get into the engine, and it melts into the engine, and it turns into this glass-like substance, and that'll harden and cause a loss of thrust and engine failure, and that's not what you want. In addition to that, the components of volcanic gas include sulfuric acid once it interacts with the atmosphere, and that's definitely not something you want on the plane or, in fact, going into any sort of vent. So it's in your best interest that they took so long to have those flights, unfortunately, though. But it's a bit of a tough situation because many people stranded, thousands of Australians, in fact, stranded still on vacation. Hopefully, we'll start to see the airlines put those flights back on, and then afterwards, people can start coming home. But the convective cloud has cleared from the Bali region, and as such, we begin to see that ash cloud drift more in southeast direction. And again, that'll take it in this direction towards Lombok. That change has moved through. That west-northwesterly is really starting to develop across the region, and it looks like it's going to stay in a west-northwesterly. That means all future eruptions from this are going to continue to drift towards the east. However, when it gets to around the Friday-Saturday period, as this tropical low-pressure system begins to push to the south, that means a northerly flow could develop yet again across the Mount Agung region. And what that means is that we could have more flight cancellations on Saturday onwards as the ash cloud then starts drifting south yet again. But there is a period right now where we're seeing that clearing ash, and it's going to clear even further overnight tonight.
So we go. And what is the time? Well, it's now 10:17. And that's the number I just focused on, isn't it? 117. Wednesday, 29th of November, 1 week before Wednesday, December 6th. 117. The value of torture, evil red rain, blood red rain, angel emerging, bad prophetic light breeze, wet boy Jake, flash floods, Jacob's water, Jacob's paddling, Gwillem, sneaky boy, nice fantasy, is what I need. Boys swam, prophets, the nine boy, the 29th. Yes. Interesting. Creepy? Nah. Nope. It's the stuff that happens that's creepy. And in some cases horrifying. And it doesn't really matter how you look at it after that. You can try and explain it any way you want. Whether you look at it as a scientific explanation for what happened, or get into God and religion, makes no difference. None.